Oh,
So
really?
it's not, yeah, it's not like you can just go up there and go Rambo. You can on a bunch of scrubs that don't know how to use their characters. But once they start actually teaming up, it becomes very difficult dealing with them. There's other characters that are much harder to play,
Uh-huh.
like at very, very difficult level. And my friend, AK Red 911, he can play Pepper and got 20 kills, and I was like shocked, dude. I mean, he excels in shooters than in fighters. Even though he's played like fighters, but like the older ones, he really can't get into the new ones. I mean, he sold everything, got PC, and he's barely coming back up, because hell, he missed out a lot of work because of issues, and then had to fix his car and shit. I understand that. And he's the one actually giving me the ride. He gives me rides to tournaments, dude. Just watch. He gives me, like an intake on
Right.
what I did wrong and if I was doing well. Even though I was doing bad in some of the tournaments, he told me that I was doing well, but the problem is I swapped it up. I should have just stayed the same strategy. Because like he was showing me the replays, dude, and I'm glad he like reports it in his phone sometimes. Because his phone is better quality than mine. The only downside is I gotta like upload it with his chip because I can't like get it won't link it. I don't know, like my fucking PC's just too old, bro. And that's why I haven't been uploading on my channel.
All right, let's do it.
Oh yeah, boy. You know what's the crazy thing? I'm also gonna play KOF 13 this year again.
Really?
Yeah, it's a side tournament, so I was like, man, you know what? Fuck it, I'll enter it. And Salvador said, dude, I should enter it because he's entering the free ones. And he was telling me SF5 is gonna be available, and I was like, what? That was a game I fucking dominated in, kinda. Not really, but like after I found out, like after I went to Japan, I was really fucking disappointed because I didn't get to play Third Strike. I played 5 instead.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was so disappointed, bro. Even though I beat that random ass Nakali who's Japanese, dude, it felt good because I was like, man, they're playing the game longer than me, and I just went out of there, whooped his ass. He didn't know what to do, man. I had a shitty Nash at that time, and I was like, dude. Now looking back at it, I was like, it makes sense what my buddy was saying earlier about that talk about how Daigo was playing it. I watched him. He's very known for the Street Fighter, but before that, what made him famous, he was telling me, was Guilty Gear. None of those other games made him famous but Guilty Gear. Because at the time, no one knew how to play that game. And the people that he was playing actually could beat him, but the way the imbalance for so bad guy was, the damage-wise, dude. I see why he was just throwing random uppercuts like that, dude. Like, it was so crazy how he was getting away with like that. And then, I think I sent you a video, I don't know if you got it, the SF4.
Oh, shit! No, yeah, you sent me the video.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't believe it, how close it was, like, to 6, dude. And Daigo's saying he's coming back, bro.
Dude.
He said he's gonna drop streaming, and he's gonna be just like how he was in 4, a monster, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, a guy beat him, dude. A new guy. That's what triggered it.
So
Some random new guy, bro. Whooped him.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was.
See, let me tell you something about. Look,
yeah.
Let me tell you something about where you were to say like, oh yeah, he's ass now.
No. I'm saying that he was ass in the Guilty Gear. If you look at him, how he played back then in Guilty Gear, and you look at the other pros, you compare him. He didn't know anything about Guilty Gear, dude, and he was placing top 8. Can you believe that? So it was no different to like what we're experiencing this era of Tekken 8. A bunch of new
Nah.
faces. Street Fighter 6, a bunch of new faces.
Dude, remember the eternal virgin.
Oh man, he got lucky all the time, bro.
He got fucking lucky all the motherfucking time, my boy.
But that time he underestimated Daigo, bro. He was gonna win that game, and he chose to taunt him and play with his move.
Which game are you talking about?
Third strike, dude.
Oh, yeah, the evil moment?
Third strike, yeah, dude. He was messing around. Gonna rip the super, thinking that he couldn't parry it.
Let's go, Justice! Dumbass.
Oh, man. But, I was looking back at it, dude. I think Daigo's most dominant games was SF4, hands down, and SF5 so? In first to 10. No one could beat him in first to 10, bro. And
dude, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
That bullshit first to 10, dude. That's to me, honestly, that's too long. Because
yeah, it's a long set, but it's just to prove that the player over another player is.
Yeah, but dude,
yeah.
And 10 setup, it can learn your strategy, dude. That's why I always
can learn all your flaws. Yeah.
Exactly.
That was the point, to see if you can adapt.
No, I mean, of course, you can adapt, but the whole thing with the set first to 10, dude, how many combinations of characters you can have in this kind of games?
And first to 10, usually
no.
between...
How many?
Yeah.
How many? Let's for example, first to 10. It's 12, 24, it's 36
You could have
teams.
like up to 19 games, dude. Or
let's
it's 2 rounds. Let's say that, right? If it's
let's say you got 36 combinations of teams right now, right?
Right.
10 matches. All right. But you always, in the back of your head, you always have you anchor, your best character.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like a wild card that they could throw if they don't know the matchup too. That's another thing. But in this case, somebody wants to challenge Daigo first to 10. Mena RD, the guy that won Evo Japan of I think 2 years ago or last year.
Right.
Thinks he can beat Daigo. And I doubt it with the 2 characters that he plays if Daigo decides just to play one. You know? Because Daigo can play many characters, but I think what he would do is what he does normally, just learns off of their mistakes and capitalizes it.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah, he could do that very good, dude. Daigo has done that for many years.
It's adaptable. He adapted so good, dude. He changes strategies. He knows how to fucking change against a character, dude.
Right. And with just using the same character. Yeah. Because have you seen Taquito? When Taquito burst into tears?
Yeah.
Bro, like, that was a match where they stayed with just one character. And he tried to prove that he had a better Akuma, and, bro, he destroyed him that whole first to 10. Like, almost nothing. I think it ended up being 3 to 10. 3 to 10, yeah. And he really put hard work for all those 3 matches. They weren't like, oh, he dominated a round. No, it was neck to neck. Like, if he would have lost 1 round, that would have been it. He would have never got a round on a whole set. And so, I was like, damn, bro. I want to be able to compete. Still compete on the newer games, because, like, the old games, I was like, dude, the reaction, they make it sound like it's a reaction thing, but I don't feel like most of those players played on reaction, dude. Because you even taught me that, dude. The people that were playing the 30th anniversary, you were capturing some of the people that I came across the local that I thought they always had reaction, but you knew how to, like, fucking trigger them out and beat them. And so did Angel when we were all playing that game.
Right. Angel, believe it or not, that pinchy Angel is still a fucking monster, dude.
In SF4, huh?
Mm.
The Third Strike, I felt like he started lacking, man. Third Strike, it's like if you let go of that game for just a little bit,
it's just like me, dude. Like, what was the last time we played this game? Months,
yeah.
months.
We keep going to 2002 or
yeah.
And that's what I was gonna talk about. That referring to the Third Strike, why I'm dropping that game hard is because months, dude. The months stacked up to me so high, dude, that I got stuck at a certain level, bro. I could not grow in Third Strike no more. And I was like, damn, man, no wonder why I like the newer games right now, because they're consistent, right?
Right.
But it boils down to the fact that when you said SNK was going to flop, now, I really think that they're promoting the thing. Have you seen how stupid the promotions got?
Oh my god, dude. Shit.
Besides the soccer player, the DJ, they promoted 2 boxers. They did like a live promo between the DJ and Ronaldo. And I thought that was kind of stupid. That
who asked for that fucking DJ?
He's a Scandinavian DJ that hardly nobody knows. He's only known in his country.
So you're talking about like fucking like smooth metal?
Yeah.
The best KOF player.
So he's the best DJ in Scandinavia, which people never even heard of him, and I think it's so bad to put him in the marketing. You know?
I thought Scandinavia was a state, not a country.
Oh damn! Wait. No.
Perfect.
I don't know what the hell is SNK doing, man. And they announced the ECW.
Since those people in the background own it.
They're clapping right now. Success. Oh man. Oh what? Fuck man, I would've fucked that up. Holy shit.
Oh man, I saw that coming.
Damn. I forgot how fast this guy was, dude.
It is pretty fast.
Yeah, Yamazaki, dude, you just slapped me, dude. Like right in blank in my face. I was like, damn, dude. Dude, the SNK vs. Capcom 2 might get an update too, like Marvel. Marvel did an update recently with, I don't know if you kept it up, but Maximilian did. Now you could select all the versions of the X-Men, like all the Nerf versions, or basically previous versions of the game. And new soundtracks.
Basically, what they do is... So basically what they do is, okay, we understand that, we fixed it, so now you can get all of them. No,
they didn't even have to do it. They didn't even have to do it. The Marvel vs. Capcom collection was already a success by itself. They just it randomly at the last minute, Capcom. But I think they're way taking advantage that you know, SNK is fucking up, you know, because I know Tekken and SNK are not gonna be looking good in the same boat. But right now, Capcom ain't doing that bad. They didn't have to do it because apparently the ports, we were wondering what they were. They were the Sega Dreamcast ports.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the ports that we were playing online with, they're the Sega Dreamcast ports.
On what?
On the Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Okay. What's wrong with that one?
Nothing, but like a lot of people did not like the Dreamcast port, and I thought that was kind of stupid. The ones that were used to, you know, like
you fucking threw me out, dude. Wait, you threw me out of my game. You were stuck in a combo,
my boy. You were in the air for an hour, dude. While I was talking.
What the fuck did you mean that we played that Sega Dreamcast version of Marvel vs. Capcom collection? It makes no sense. So okay, hold on. Let me finish my face. Let me finish my piece. Let me finish my piece. Okay. the best version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the Sega Dreamcast version.
Right?
Okay, right. The Marvel vs. Capcom, it came out on Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Marvel superheroes, Marvel versus X-Men versus Street Fighter, they're not come out on Sega Dreamcast. So the only ones that I can think of that are the Sega Dreamcast version, the Sega Dreamcast version is Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's it.
Yeah, just those two games. That's what I was trying to refer to, that those two games. And I don't know what the other versions for X-Men or whatever.
The other ones,
but,
they has to be the arcades.
Well, who knows which arcade version is it? Because remember you told me, like, back then they didn't have updates. They just had different boards. So we don't know what number.
It was the European version, the North American version, and the Asia version. That's it.
Okay, so we're going to have in this update, which they already passed, I think April 16 when they released it, we now have access to the European version. We have access to the other versions, like besides the Japanese, now the actual Japanese port of the game. But when it comes to the balance or whatever, it's really hard to tell unless you really know what those frames and shit goes. But the games look the same to us, right? But additionally, they put us something brand new, an upscaling, because apparently all those games run at 4080p.
No.
So they gave us an upscale on Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I don't know if it applies for all the games. He was talking about, because it zoomed in what the difference looked like on the pixels. Well, and you know how the background is like a 3D?
That's different.
Yeah.
You're talking about the pixels, not the frames.
The frames apparently so, dude, because in the versions we're going to have, are there going to be the other versions like where Juggernaut and what's his name, Magneto are not playable. So you'll be able to play the reverted, modified one.
That's the hack versions.
Yeah, that's the hack version that we got
so
right now.
You tell me this is a hack versions?
No, they had to modify that new version.
Because I have on my possession a fucking hacked version on my Xbox, which you can play.
But it plays legitly the way how it did in the arcade, right? Like it's fully emulated.
Yeah, it's fully emulated. But the thing is, it's a hack. It's the hack version, dude. So it's still it's not. And then when you put that shit on these games.
Well, remember that we were only stuck with the hack version? So, like, if you want to play the actual version, you could just switch out the version of that, too. So, apparently, every game is going to get that. But I didn't know that there were other versions for the other games. I thought they were just,
Yes, they are.
I know there's versions for Street Fighter X. What is it? Is it Street Fighter?
The Street Fighter 2, the Rainbow version. Yeah.
No. I'm talking about Street Fighter versus X-Men. There were 3 games because the fact that the Infinites...
Yes. No. There were 3 games because it was the North American version, it was the European version, the Japanese version, which is the Asian version.
Right.
So that's 3 versions. And the only... I think it's Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, they have a character, which is not included in the American version. And it was only included on the European version, and it was just like damn, dude. It was
was there console exclusives?
No, there were no consoles, dude. There were no. The only console they came out, it was It was on, I wanna say, PlayStation, and
the Sega Saturn, right?
And the Sega Saturn. That's it. And out of those, you know which version was better?
The arcade?
Sega Saturn.
What? Damn, Sega Saturn. Damn.
The Sega Saturn because on the
it ran better.
On the PlayStation, when they came out with the what was it? X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Right.
You can only play. Let me see. You can only play, like, for example, if I have
a certain character.
Like, for example, if you got Regala, got Kim, and there's the only way that we can play is like this. That you have a Kim also, and I have Rugal. I mean, I cannot play with
I see what you mean. Like Street Fighter 2, you can't play mirror match characters. You have somebody picks them. That's it.
No. You can't play mirror characters. That's what I'm saying. You can't.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, like, for example, you cannot choose a different character that your opponent has. So, for example, if I pick Kim and Hayden, and you try to
I can't pick Kim and Hadrian. Yeah, I understand that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Oh, I can?
Yes, okay. You can. But if you try to pick Kim and Rugal, it won't let you. There has to be the same character, but alternates. That's what that's the PlayStation version. But the Sega Dreamcast version, dude, they can let you do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for just a little thing like that. Oh man.
Yeah, and that's Mario. And that was X-Men vs Street Fighter, dude. But then 2 years later, dude, PlayStation came back, dude, with fucking Marvel Super Mario vs Street Fighter, dude, and you can't do that. You can switch characters like nothing. Yeah, you can freely do that. So what was the difference between that game?
Well, the way how it ran, because see, if the Sega version is better, Sega Saturn version is better than PlayStation, then the bit.
But the only one was better, dude. Like the King of Fighters 95, dude. He came out of Sega and Sega Saturn 2, and it was way better than PlayStation version. Way better.
Yeah,
no loading
PlayStation
time.
had a load.
Loading time.
Game. Loading time is what killed it, and the bit rates were way different when they were fitting them on disc. Depending on who was on the development team, if they didn't know how to put those right, then the game kind of experiences like bugs. And I can't remember what one game it was that was supposed to be accidental. I don't know if it was the Resident Evil that they could not fit it in the disc, or it was something that they overdid, and people were like so pissed about it that the files and the sound, instead of being compressed, because they have to be compressed right. However, with the Sega Saturn, I think at that time it was the 32-bit, right? The highest it can go?
No, it's same as the PlayStation.
Same thing with the PlayStation 32-bit?
It's the PlayStation. But the secret with the fucking Sega Dreamcast, you know what it was? It was the RAM processor. It was faster.
And so it can process all of that faster than what the PlayStation can.
Faster than the PlayStation.
Yeah, because the PlayStation had some type of thing that read the DVD. I couldn't remember what it's called.
Yeah. So.
No, so CD. It reads CDR or some shit like that.
Yeah, CD-ROM. Yeah, they all like that. Both of Sega Dreamcast, but the difference was the ROM.
The size of the ROM?
No, what they call it? How they call it now? Fucking the chip processor.
Yeah. Chip processor. Yeah. Yeah, the processor ran different from PlayStation and
it was
Sega.
Faster, dude. And remember, I don't know if you remember, the fucking PlayStation, the original PlayStation, got hacked.
Yeah, so they had to make a newer model. It was PlayStation X, or I always called it PlayStation X, but it could have been called PlayStation Project. It was a darker gray before they decided to do the PlayStation 1.
But,
it was before
the
they
thing
had
that
the
I
analog
like,
sticks.
the thing that I liked it about the PlayStation, at least they tried. It was
Right.
they can fucking you can play now the arcade games on your house, dude. Because
Yeah.
remember, PlayStation, dude, he came out with the Street Fighter, King of Fighter, dude, fighting games, dude.
It had the best fighting games. It was like the
Yeah.
preference of choice.
I mean, and Neo Geo, fuck, dude. At that time in the '90s, Neo Geo was costing just the system. It's $500 back in 1991, 92.
Yeah.
$500, dude. And a fucking game, the cartridges was like
250,
200,
man.
250 back then, dude.
Ridiculous, dude.
Look, let me check it out real quick how much money it was. 250, 250 and 92. Let me see, $250.
Well, they're more than that, dude. Now, Neo Geo could cost you up
In
to almost $1,000 in Japan with the box.
1992 today. Dude, $250 in 1992 as current equivalent to approximately $4,126.
Man, and people will buy, dude.
Dude, imagine now the Sega the $500 in 1992.
Damn, bro. Hell, man, I wouldn't even break bread like that. Man, I think that the highest I paid, and this is like including the special, because those weren't specials. Those were just standard games, right?
It makes no sense.
What makes no sense?
It says $1,000. What the fuck?
Yeah, they've raised up $1,000, like a used Neo Geo with no cord,
No. But see,
with the box.
Okay. Let me change that shit right here. 50. It makes no sense. You say $500.
That's what they're selling it as of now?
You say $500 today is it's almost $1,200. But if I put $250 in 92, it's $4,000. What the fuck? Ain't no fucking sense.
Oh hell no! Yeah, that's completely off.
Way off. If I put $500.
Just do this. Look at the Japanese online site or the stores, and bro, those games sell high. Or just type in eBay an original board if you can find one, and they're out of their damn mind, bro. I thought you selling a expired used code, or I mean not used but expired code for Marvel 2 was fucking insane, dude. I've seen things that, like the PlayStation 3, the Yakuza Platinum with the tattooed dragon on it, go up to $1 million, man. I'm all like, bro, no one's gonna buy that shit.
No one's gonna buy that shit.
No one's gonna buy that shit. But when I look at the arcades and I see the prices between $300 to $1,000 in actual sold, I was like, damn, dude, these are motherfuckers that are scavenging, you know?
Right.
Or maybe they have a store and they're just selling whatever they got on their shit. Because I heard Japan does like trade-ins and buys. And they buy like mainly all the fucking retro shit. I remember I was gonna help out the local that I'm going next week. Get a board to play the actual the but you know, I'm glad that I talked to the people up there, dude, because a lot of people did not favor dude. They favored Bloodfest.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, man, I don't like Slugfest. I was always wondering why they had that in the arcade, and it wasn't the original arcade. It's like in a Sega arcade, and you could tell like the. I don't know if it's supposed to be fully custom arted by, you know, like it's not even the original Sega cabinet itself, but they took one of the layouts of the buttons, and I recognized the joystick. And they did like how the Texas Showdown, you know how they pop it open and shit. And then I noticed that whole thing's a fucking emulation that they have. And my friend showed me if you hit start and select, you could pick whatever game you want.
Oh, that was the emulators back in the day.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I was shocked that there was two girls. I'm like, which one is the legit one? Because there's a magic one. And that's a hack ROM. But I could not tell the fucking difference. Oh, man. Yeah, so I didn't bother wasting my time after that, dude. After I saw that, and I asked Salvador if the community would ever come back for 98 because I saw KOF 13 on there, and I was a little bit disappointed on, like, I can't really play that game because the online sucks. And he was telling me, nah, not really, dude. There's nothing like I can do because the only people that really play that are honestly Tekken players.
Right, yeah.
I was like, bro, I was like very fucking disgraced hearing that, dude. But I know what he really tried to mean. He meant the people that go to that local at 404, they're all Tekken players. The majority of them are not KOF players. They have a 404 on their gamer tag on the side in the tournament. That means they're from that one local in Atlanta. And I was thinking about attending there too, man. I saw how they play out there, and I was like, damn, dude. Maybe for Fatal Fury, I'll attend there, you know? But the first one I want to attend to is the one that I got 4th place at, my local in Macon. Cause I got there like I think twice on the stream, or 3 times.
So Demon, you still going for the Fatal Fury tournament?
Yeah, I want to pick up Billy, dude. I was looking at the tournament already that they had, a showcase.
So what's gonna be you already pre-ordered it?
Yeah, I already pre-ordered the game, dude. I got the special edition and pre-ordered the digital.
Okay, so I actually had that game too.
Yeah, I fully invested in Fatal Fury.
Oh man!
But I love everything with it. Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna have you heard broke again. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, fuck SNK. So you back in love with SNK?
Just because of Fatal Fury, man. When I played the beta, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not expect for
say out loud. Say out loud. You love SNK again.
Dude, I love SNK for Fatal Fury. That is it, dude. But when it comes to the KOF, I can't look over my shoulder and not say because something about it.
Remember, and I quote you. Fuck SNK.
I said it a bunch of times.
Marvel, Fatal Fury is dead on what?
On arrival, it could be.
No, you
because
say
of the
it.
Heavy promotion.
That's not my words. That's not my words. You say it out loud. Oh man, no. Let's say Fatal Fury 2.
I'm still gonna be invested into it, but here's the kicker. They announced the world tour, but they didn't say what dates and what locals. So how is somebody supposed to qualify for those $2 million or $2,000? I think it's $2,000, in fact.
Yeah, I don't think it's $2 million.
$2,000 that they put in, and then they promote this game.
But then again, those people from the desert, as the owners of SNK, so they got money.
They're burying it. They got money to waste and produce products, but unfortunately, I feel like it will go under because that's what happened to KOF 15. They promoted the game, and then nobody knew where to go to the tournaments. And then by the time the game was already suffering its lifespan and, you know, lack of DLC, no costumes, no communication, just radio silence.
Yeah.
Then they announced the tournaments, and it was already too late, and then the people just missed out. And then when they saw that the pot price wasn't even near $2,000, it was like, so what am I playing for fun? And unfortunately, not everyone's time is, you know, free, you know?
Right.
Because it's terrible that they have to fly all the way out of their country just to play for almost little for nothing. And on top of that, you know that money gets taxed.
I got that Orochi kill.
Kyo! Oh, damn! So I'm kind of worried on that because CEO's coming in June and they didn't even mention it. Everyone's all saying, "Oh, it's gonna be Evo." Obviously, it's gonna be Evo. But what about the other tournaments that are still hanging in dear life? And I was thinking, man, I don't even remember watching any of the SNK tour, and I was trying to look into the game for KOF 15. But every time I see it, they're playing 98 or some shit, dude. And I'm all like, man, this is gonna be another home wreckage with the everybody sitting at home and oh, I missed out the tournament because nobody announced it.
Right. You think so?
Dude, they haven't announced the date. They announced the tournament. It's gonna be the biggest ECW, so it's gonna be in the desert, like you said. But they don't tell you how to qualify. It means it's a league. In other words, like if there was a chance for you to go to Evo, and we already know Texas Showdown, let's say Final Round existed, and all these other locals like Next Level and shit. And there were league points, just like the Jazzy League, you know? So you tend to those locals, and when you collect enough points, you go to EVO. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, you're right,
So they announced that it's going to be in their country, but they don't announce where do you got to go to your fucking country or state. So I'm all like,
hey, those people from the desert.
My gosh, dude. They're really ruining the game, dude, in a way, because, like, that is strongly a lack of communication, because, like, where are they gonna get the exclusive shit, or they just market it out of nowhere and expecting the game to make success overnight. That's the problem with them, dude. They don't give a fuck no more. They just say, okay, this game is a dead-ass franchise, we're gonna revival it again, and it's gonna bring us revenue, and we're gonna be filthy rich.
No, they actually, yeah, they're not looking for that. They're just like people who grow up with them.
Yeah.
They go like, "Daddy, buy me SNK franchise, please." How much they worth? It's cheap. It's only $100 million. All right. Just get the money from the drawer.
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker, hey, revive, make Fatal Fury again. What? That game is dead. Do it. or you're gonna be dead.
And honestly, like, I don't mind them doing it, but I just wish they would have left the guest characters out.
At least.
Yeah, at least give us a chance to see us other characters from Art of Fighting. But
hey, everyone from the Fatal Fury Real Bot franchise is gonna be there.
That's what they were saying. They were saying that they're gonna extend it for 3 years of DLC, and let's see if they keep their word.
And you know who's gonna be there too? The main character from Real Bot Fatal Fury 2, that guy who nobody likes. What's his?
Is it Lawrence? Krauser? Team Duck? Oh, no. I know who it is. Who it is.
Rick something. The boxer.
Slick Rick, I think it was.
What's his name?
Or it was Rick something.
It's some fucking guy who tried to make it the next terrier, and he just fucking
It
bombed
flopped.
bad.
He was supposed to be the main character, but
Remember,
Rick actually got popular though.
Rick
He
what?
actually
What's his name?
Ricky Stokes. Ricky Stokes, that's what it was.
Who gives a fuck whose name was?
Yeah, he was. They brought up that it was racist, and I was like, dude, what the hell's racist about this guy?
No, it wasn't racist. It was
He was a Native American that could box. That was the only thing I saw, dude.
a white Native American, dude. Come on. Last time I checked, there's no white.
No, he's not white. He's Native American. Supposedly in the lore, which I don't see how.
I know. And blend.
But yeah, I bet if anybody looked at him, they would say he's white.
Of course, the motherfucker is whiter than this. The White Snow. The what's the name of the movie? White Snow. Snow White.
No white.
That motherfucker right now is whiter than her.
But if he gets in the game, I think he would fit in the game because you haven't played the beta, have you?
I did. Remember?
You did?
We played it.
No, we didn't play, dude. I tried to play with you, but it was the last day, and I didn't get the chance to play.
Yeah, I played it. And I feel
I played it because of the tournament, and then I played just the beta. And I was disappointed that there was no training mode, and then when they did have training mode, I only got to play the second beta for like a day. That was it.
No, I played it. I played like for 3 hours dude, online, dude. I beat a couple of guys that beat me, a couple of guys beat me. I mean, but I don't see no difference between that and King of Fighters 15, dude. I'll be honest with you, you know.
Well, I mean, there's a difference, man. The feint cancels and shit, dude.
That's it.
And the counters.
That's it. Two things. But the movement, the short fucking movements. Oh, and I think they changed that to the second plane, like they can roll to the background.
Oh, they're bringing that back. Yeah, that's gonna be a separate mode.
Why they do that? Nobody asked me for that shit. Nobody asked you for that shit. That shit was horrible, dude.
Well, some of those people actually liked the 2-lane thing. I never did like that.
Who? You like that shit?
No, the old school players.
No, I don't like that shit. I'm an old school player. I
know, but here's the kicker, though.
No, that's not fucking kicker. No, let me stop you there. No fucking kicker.
You asked Daigo?
Dude, if it is a kicker, it's a kick in the balls. That's what it is.
Here's the kick of the balls. They cannot use that mode in tournament, though. They used it in the previous ones.
Why they fucking put it in? Why they bring it in? If you can use it in the fucking tournament, why you do that?
You cannot use them.
Why not?
Because people can't adjust it.
You see, there we go.
Now?
So who asked for that? Who? I never liked that shit.
I don't know.
I never liked that shit. That's why, dude. That's why. Let me tell you this. That's why Fatal Fury real boss. They never kick out. No, that's why Fatal Fury. They never fucking went beat this. The only fucking reason the Fatal Fury got big again was Mark of the Wolves.
Yeah, Mark of the Wolves.
That's it. And you don't see the fucking 2D background, is it?
No, you know, the two don't play. I'm glad it's not there, dude. But that's why they don't want to use it, is because they want to keep it as similar as Garou.
Okay.
They want to get it popular again.
No, but okay. Let me ask you this again, Demon. Again.
Yeah.
Why did they do that if not gonna introduce it in a tournament? You basically segregate you people doing that shit. Because just like you say, there's gonna be some people who really like it, and they're gonna depend on that movement to win matches. But guess what? You cannot do it in ranked.
Well, the reason why they're not gonna do it is it's not gonna be it may not be a free update. That is another issue too. You got to stop and think about it. How many people are gonna pay for that?
Oh, okay, okay. That makes no sense, Timon. It cannot be. That's not how updates work. It's not.
If
Come on,
that game mode is
it
not
makes no
included,
sense, dude. It makes no sense what you just say right now.
yeah,
It's not
because
gonna be
look,
after update. If
in
it
the
is an
beta, they
update,
never mentioned modes.
if it is an update, it has to be for free. If not, fuck off. Oh, why I cannot play online? Oh, because you need to update your game. Yeah, but you need to pay this. No, wait. That's not how that works, shit. That's not how that works.
Right.
I pay for the online service. That's
But
different. That's different to play online. I understand
exactly.
if I don't play, if I don't pay, that it just remind me. That's why Dead Space 2, EA got in so fucking
Much
huge
trouble. I remember.
lawsuit because you need to pay for this. No, it's not an update. You need to pay this. You need to pay 9.99 to play online. I said, what the
But
fuck? I'm
we're
already
dealing with the
paying for the
different owner,
service.
dude.
I already paid for the service. Why did I pay you to play online? Oh well, that's
Right.
my game. Yeah, which I own.
Let me stop you here though, man. Maybe I could be wrong,
No,
but
you are wrong. Dead wrong. No, you're not
all right.
maybe.
Let me
You're
check you
dead
here
wrong.
then. Let me check you here. Do you own KOF 13 on Steam?
Yes.
Do you own GM on Steam?
GM? No, I don't have GM on Steam.
So why do I gotta pay for the same game and why is it not a free update? They're the same game.
But
You paid for rollback. You
hey,
telling me I paid the same game twice?
that's different games.
No, they're not. They're the
They are.
same game,
The
bro.
other one is Global Match, and the other one is just the King of Fighters 13.
Yeah, I get that, but here's the kicker:
It's
the
it's
console
it's
got a
like
free update, and PC
let
users
me show
didn't.
let me show you a really good example.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 3, the new
Oh
generation.
man, that went
Ah
through
ah ah ah
through
ah
hard times. I
ah
know what
ah
you're
ah
talking about.
ah 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 ah. And then what happened? Street Fighter Second Impact.
Yeah.
And what would you say? Why should I pay the same for the same game?
Right.
Oh no! This got new features. This got extra characters. No! It's not the same.
Third strike.
And then third strike.
But it doesn't stop there. There's more online edition.
Well, the online edition. But
And then they sell you the soundtracks, the
but
colors. Did
no.
you know
Hold
that
on.
you?
Better hold on, Demon. Hold on,
Yeah.
Demon. Let me finish.
All
That's.
right.
You want to hear the kicker? Just like you want to know the kicker and the balls.
Yeah.
When they come out when they came out on Sega Dreamcast, they tried to do the same thing. They tried to do like, oh well, uh, for the new challengers. What is it? The next
New
generation,
generation.
new
Yeah.
generation, and Second Impact. Oh, they're two different games. So we're gonna sell it separate. So, the government stopped them. No, you either sell one or sell both of them. Third Strike. The only reason the Third Strike was different is because they have Chun-Li, they have Akuma playable.
And Ryu.
No, Ryu's here always been
Oh no,
playable.
yeah. Yeah.
That was the only reason. I said there was different. Third
Well,
Strike. It
Akuma
was,
was on the second one, but he was like a hidden character though.
but it wasn't on the roast.
Yeah, he wasn't on the roster. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right on that.
So that's how that shit works, Simon. So, like I say, they
You forgot
cannot
one
do that
character though.
shit. They cannot do that shit. Oh no, Hugo from Second Impact.
No. Well, never mind, because Ken was also on Second Impact.
And K was in the first two. It also was there.
He was also there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and the new generation. I mean, both of them, they were there.
Right, right.
So my point is this: you cannot say the company cannot do that. Well, it's gonna be an update, and you wanna play this. There's not gonna be you're not gonna be able to play online with this mode unless you pay for an update. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm
Well,
really paying for
yeah,
playing online. I'm not gonna pay you to play online. That's why EA got in so much trouble. They got fucking lawsuit, millions of dollars. That's why they cannot. They only make Dead Space 3. That's it.
right.
That's why. That's why you don't see Dead Space 4. They can only
And
work on a
plus, they
remake.
had lack of content, dude. They sold you basically a third of the game because you had to buy the rest of the expansion to play the rest of the
Demo,
game.
simple. Remember,
Yeah.
Microsoft points.
Yeah.
Remember that. Remember Microsoft points?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't changed though. If you think about it.
No, no, no. The government said like, wait. What are you selling? Oh, the Microsoft points. Okay. So what is that? Oh, well, you sell. It's basically it was the early cryptocurrency. It was the early cryptocurrency, demon.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you just pay like, for example, we give you specials right now like well, that's not real currency. Why they have to pay this guy
$20 for something that was just
$20,
digital.
which is like points, but at the same time, in certain dates, 800 points now for just for only one day, it's gonna cost you $2 or 4.99 instead of paying 9.99. So that's why the
Yeah.
fucking government, the IRS, they get into it and nah. What you're doing is you manipulate the market.
Yeah.
So, like for example, like oh shit, I can buy these Microsoft points today for $50. I can buy Microsoft points worth or $100. Oh shit! But remember, it was a cap to buy. You can only buy 9,000 Microsoft points for 9.99, some shit like that. They said it was a cap,
Yeah.
but you keep buying it again and again and again and again and again and again. So the government was the IRS came in and said like, so where's my cut? What cut? I said, bitch, you pay with American dollars, with dollars. So where's my money? My tax.
Damn, bro. Microsoft being
They say,
stingy, dude.
nah, blah, 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 blah. They tried to fucking fight it. I said, nah, bitch. Now, you have to fucking use your currency on dollars. So that's why they switch
From points to dollars, yeah.
to
It just
points to
says
dollars.
$25 gift card. They turn them into gift cards.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Everything switches. So, Demon, back to my point. Well, back to your point. They cannot, SNK cannot do that. The
Well, they're not going to
update.
make you pay online. It's they may sell the mode as a separate thing because I don't.
How? They cannot do that, Demon. They cannot.
They did it with Tekken.
Which
They did it
Tekken?
with Tekken already.
Which
Tekken
Tekken?
caught hell for that this year.
Which Tekken? Tekken 8?
Tekken 8. Tekken
What did they
8.
do?
The map. Okay. Tell me, why do I got to pay for the character individually and the map individually?
Well,
They should be included in
no,
the season pass, right?
no. That's what, of course. That's why
Yeah.
you buy the season pass. They have to list what you buying.
Exactly.
That's
But
why. Hey, that's why they call him season pass 1 and season pass 2, and that's what they call the magic word bundle.
yeah, the bundle.
If you got bundle, hey, these two maps that's not included in the season pass, they're in it.
So going back to what the Bamco, I see why they keep calling them Bamco, and they're hating on Harada because he went back on his word. Because the season pass
Who?
never stated that the guy that created Tekken
Okay.
never stated that the map was going to be sold individually. So when Heihachi came out, you got Heihachi if you paid season pass, but you didn't get the map.
Okay.
So the map should have been included, and it's his stage.
Says who?
You see what I mean? So
No.
basically,
Says,
that season pass,
no.
that
Says
season pass
who?
is worth shit.
Says who? That map should be included when Heihachi came out. Says who?
The fact that the season pass, bro, it states that you're supposed to get maps and characters as day releases.
Remember the magic word, Demon?
Yeah,
Bundle.
bundle. But there's no bundle. They don't include bundles. Tekken has sold all their shit individually, and so they're doing the crypto. You buy Tekken coins, and they got it fixed. Here, they got it fixed where you can't get the certain amount.
Who's there to blame?
The developers.
Nope, nobody. No, who's there to blame? Us. Why?
Because we keep buying it. I know.
We see that coming, and you know where I see that coming. Remember Gears of War 2?
Yeah, I never bought anything off there, dude. Yeah.
Remember what they say? Oh, the lost mission or whatever, or the extra mission, because the maps in Gears of War 2 they're free. Remember?
In the first one, if I remember right.
No, in the first one, in the second one, all the maps were free, but not the extra mission or whatever when they take a different route. I don't know how they call it.
Yeah, the aftermath.
No, that's not the aftermath. It's no aftermath. Which one? No, that's no. They call it differently. It's when the because you can only see Dominic and Marcus when they guide themselves as a locus, but you only see them like what do you want to do, and then they skip the whole mission just to get there, and the main game.
Damn.
You know what? I think it's the aftermath. I think that is, but it's something like that.
Yeah, I do remember getting the reskins.
It was
It was Gears of War Judgment. They flopped because they sold you a previous intake of Dominic and Marcus
but
before E-Day.
What I'm saying is how this bullshit the DLC started. They started with Gears of War, dude, and they keep going with Halo 3.
Oh yeah, Halo 3 was the biggest one of them all, dude.
Halo 1 and Halo 2, the maps that were free. Gears of War 1,
you had to buy an expansion. I had Halo 2. You had to buy a disc.
Yeah, was different. That's a DLC.
Yeah, the DLC was on a disc instead of on a digital whatever server.
Halo 2, you know why they do that? Because they want to add. Now these motherfuckers, they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These motherfuckers now. Okay, why they don't do like it used to be? Like you play the game, you unlock this character playing the game.
They can't earn no money, dude. With the new costs.
Well, that's the whole point of the game. I mean, fucking the millionaires, dude. Fucking.
Well, not all the game developers apparently. There's rumors. I hope it's not true, but it has to do with the people that created Twisted Metal. It may go with God of War's future. that they may not be in business no more. That's why.
Oh, what the fuck?